Chapter 5. Later that day, after a nap, I found everyone bustling around preparing dinner. Mayan was still there, cheerfully assisting with the cooking. I simply stood against the wall, observing the harmonious scene as they all worked together. Joan and Andy were arguing over the next quest they would choose. Observing them, I was caught in their gaze. "Oh, Mr. Hunt, how long have you been standing over there?" Andy asked, slugging Joan in the arm and running over to me. "Why are you up now? I thought you'd be sleeping until tomorrow morning." Feeling a tad weary, I replied with a shrug. "I'm all right, just needed to rest for a moment." "So what's on the menu for dinner?" Apparently, they were attempting to make a roast dinner, or so I was informed when I asked. I laughed and offered to help. But Mayan had another idea. "Why don't we head to the market and get something to add to this dinner?" she said, grabbing my hand, then she dragged me out of the house. Joan and the others remained in the house and continued to cook. After a couple of minutes of walking, I saw she was troubled by what she told me when I got home. A duke from the trading city in the south was stalking her. That's all I knew about it. "Mayan, what's your mind at?" I asked her, and she jumped back at that moment. "Oh, sorry, that duke sent more roses and is now pestering my mother," she told me, and I shook my head. "So am I right? He's trying to make you marry him, you're not into it, and now he's resorting to coercion?" That about sums it up. I asked her, and she nodded. "Yes, he's a rude little man with a god complex. He tried to go after my older sister, but was thrown out of the castle by her. That caused an uproar with his parents. They stopped bringing produce during the winter. If I do something like that, it might be worse, or war might break out." She told me, and I saw a small dragon man approaching us. I felt Mayan grab my shoulder as she whispered, "That's him. His name is Holger," she said, warning me not to get into it with him. I laughed and said back to her, "Him first, I'll be a gentleman." I saw she was worried as the guy went to grab Mayan. She pulled away, and the man said, "Your mother agreed to our marriage on one condition, that you say yes to me in front of her." The man looked at me and snorted. "Why are you talking with this human? He's not better than the pigs the farmers slaughter." He had long hair and fluffed his hair to make me feel jealous of this idiot. "No, for the 1,000th time, I say no to you," she said, now getting behind me. "Sir, remove yourself from my lady's presence. You are upsetting her." I said the Duke, and he went to hit me out of the way. I caught his hand and was about to crush it, when Queen Leah stopped me. "Sir Jack, please don't break his hand," she pleaded as I let him go. The man ran over and bowed his head to the Queen. He even started grovelling at her feet. "He's a peasant bothering your daughter. He should be in chains, not let to roam," he said, making me seem like some animal. "No, this is Jack Hunt, friend of the Crown and a S-ranked adventurer responsible for exposing the human's real intentions. You will not be bothering her again. Otherwise, Jack here will be allowed to remove you from his home." Queen Leah warned Duke Holger, but he wanted to try something else. "Why does she like you over me? I'm a duke, raised with money, and a leader of a well-established city. You all need my city to survive the winter. Without me, you'll all suffer." He looked at me and threw dirt in my face. Then he demanded that I fight him for Mayan. Mayan didn't want me to, but I got the okay from Queen Leah after she said, "If Jack wins, you'll never set foot in our city again. I'll make sure your father knows why." Duke Holger looked back at her, and he thought he was going to win. He hit me with a sneaky punch to the gut. I didn't even feel it. I even saw his fist had spikes. But with my Iron Dragon skin ability, I can reflect and can't be cut by normal weapons. I think I even hurt his hand with his strike. He backed up and went to hit me in my face. This time, I caught it and cracked his wrist. He stumbled back holding his hand, and I hit him with one punch, knocking him to the ground. He threw a fireball at me, and I battered it away like it was nothing. He began to panic, throwing magic attacks at me. One of them almost hit Mayan and her mother. I stopped messing with him and closed the distance to grab him. I then grabbed his hands and froze them together. "Stop before you hit my Princess Mayan and Queen Leah," I yelled, throwing him back to the ground. The man stopped freaking out after he realized he was fine. I looked back at the women behind me. Mayan looked embarrassed, and her mother looked pleased that I handled this fairly. You don't need to be like this. Can you tell that you scare her? I said, having him look at Mayan, who didn't want to look at him. He went limp for a moment, then got to his knees. I concede to this outcome. Jack is the better man today. I'm sorry for losing my composure. I thought that if I showed Mayan my power, that she would fall for me. But that's not going to happen. I'm sorry. Duke Holger said, getting up from the ground. I unfroze his hands, then I dusted him off. I grabbed his shoulders and spun him away from the queen and the princess. Please don't do anything stupid. I can see you like her, probably a kid friendship that went sour. My advice, young man, don't rely on your wealth. Build your character, do some training, go live a life for you. Then you'll find someone who loves you for you. I said to him as if he were one of my students. He smiled. He then walked away and left the city. I went back over to the women waiting for me. Queen Leah smiled and returned to her castle with her bodyguards. Princess Mayan and I were alone, finally. Simultaneously, she and I met each other's gaze and then both began speaking. No, sorry, you speak first. We said to each other, but I motioned for her to go first. Jack, did you say my Mayan when you were yelling at Holger to stop? She asked, and I blushed, looking away for a moment. Maybe. Why? Do you think it means something is wrong? I asked, and she smiled. The words sent a thrill through me, and a flush warmed my skin. Still, it felt good to hear them. She stopped for a moment, then I spoke up. Mayan, I like you, and I know you feel the same way. Being around you makes everything better. I never want that to change. I felt her clawed hand grab mine, then she reached up and touched my face. This was one of the first times that I've seen her this close. Her scaled skin shone like marble in a fancy house. Her eyes glowed a bright blue, her face almost human. I admire the person you've become, the leader, the mentor, the man who has earned the trust of so many. You're an incredible father and teacher, a truly great person. Our friendship has meant so much to me, but lately I feel it evolving. My feelings for you run deeper than friendship, she said to me, and I felt my body get warmer. Princess Mayan grabbed me, then had me follow her. We walked to the lake, her favorite spot, and sat by the shore. I love this spot. My father used to bring me here when I was a kid. She told me, as she paused to take in the fresh air. He passed away a few years ago, died in the war between the demons and the beastmen. He was on a convoy heading to the Beast King's home. He was trying to stop the fighting. She started to cry. Bandits ambushed him, and they took everything. He had that sword you carry. We found it in a raid as you were brought into this world. But a trio of pig orcs took it, claiming the lives of the people bringing it. When I saw you had it, I was upset. But the good things you've done holding that blade, you reminded me of my father. She stopped talking, and I put my arm around her shoulder, consoling her as I casted an ice spell in my hand. It was a ball with a figure in it. The figure was of a young man who looked like a skinnier version of me. When I came here, at first I was scared. Who wouldn't be scared of being thrown into an alien world? Then, when we were attacked, I had to act not as a teacher, but as a protector. Then, finding out that we were all brought here because of me, I felt responsible for the deaths of those kids. This made me remember this kid. I said to Mayan, showing her the ice figure. She took it and noticed the similarities between me and the person I casted. Who is this young human? This guy isn't you. He's too skinny, but he has your eyes, she questioned, and I smiled, looking at it. That is my younger brother. He was my closest family member. I haven't seen him in years, even before I was brought here. It's been too long, but I blame myself for that one. I was too worried about my job rather than visiting him. I looked sad talking about him. Kolber was going to enter into military service like I did, I said, putting away the ice statue. Mayan looked at me. Did you say Kolber? There is a man in the human guilds who's named Kolber. People say he's an assassin for the humans or something like that. She told me, and I felt my heart drop. Is it very common for people to be named Kolber here? I asked her and she shook her head. No, and I hoped he wasn't here. We sat there for hours until the sun came down. We hit everything under the sun with questions and stories of old times. Then I took her home, but as we walked, I felt something or someone was watching me. But I did get her to the castle, and I took her to her room. Mayan turned around after opening her room and looked into my eyes. Mayan, I had a good time tonight. Relaxing by the lake was a good idea, I said, and she grabbed my shirt. She kissed me and threw me right on the bed. She kissed my forehead and passed out on my stomach. I smiled and petted her head as I fell asleep with her. Sleeping, like I didn't have to worry about anything,